The hip-hop world woke up to absolute chaos this morning after reports began circulating that King Harris had been rushed to the hospital following what insiders are calling a violent confrontation, involving individuals allegedly connected to 50 Cent. And when I say the internet exploded, I mean timelines across social media instantly turned into a war zone of speculation, anger, and confusion. Fans are shocked, bloggers are scrambling for details, and people close to the situation are starting to speak out in ways that only make the story more dramatic. But the moment that truly shook the culture came when T.I., King Harris's father, reportedly broke down in tears while speaking to close friends outside the hospital. Witnesses claim the Atlanta legend looked devastated, pacing back and forth and repeatedly asking doctors for updates. According to one person who claims they were there, T.I., "I kept saying the same words over and over. My son didn't deserve this." Now, here's where the story takes a turn that nobody expected. The alleged attack didn't happen randomly. Sources say the situation may have started earlier in the week after tension online between King Harris and individuals rumored to be affiliated with 50 Cent's circle. At first, it looked like typical rap industry trolling, subtle posts, cryptic captions, and a few comments that fans quickly screenshotted. But what seemed like internet drama may have escalated into something far more serious. And that's exactly why emotions ran high across the hip-hop community overnight. Some rappers immediately defended King Harris. Others warned people not to jump to conclusions. Meanwhile, fans began digging through old interviews, old tweets, and even past industry rivalries between camps connected to Atlanta and New York. Now, the biggest question everyone is asking is simple. How did this situation spiral so far out of control? And what really happened in those moments before King Harris was rushed to the hospital? The story surrounding King Harris being rushed to the hospital didn't just appear out of nowhere. According to people close to the situation, the tension had actually been building for days before the incident that shocked the entire hip-hop community. What initially looked like routine internet drama slowly started turning into something much more personal, and fans are now going back through every post, every comment, and every interview trying to understand how things escalated so quickly. The situation reportedly began earlier in the week when King Harris posted a short message on social media that many fans interpreted as a subtle jab aimed at figures connected to 50 Cent. The post itself was vague, just a few words about respect and people talking tough online. But the timing caught attention immediately because it came shortly after a podcast clip began circulating where a guest mentioned the ongoing tension between younger artists and established industry figures. While the message didn't mention anyone directly, the internet did what it always does. Screenshots started spreading, fans began connecting dots, and suddenly, people were debating whether King Harris had just fired a shot toward 50 Cent's camp. Within hours, bloggers picked up the conversation and the drama intensified. One hip-hop page reposted the message with the caption, "Did King Harris just send a message to 50's circle?" The question alone triggered thousands of comments. Some fans supported King Harris, saying he was standing his ground as a young artist trying to build his own name. Others warned him that stepping into drama involving someone as influential as 50 Cent could bring unnecessary attention. Emotions ran high as the conversation turned into a digital battlefield, with fans arguing back and forth about loyalty, respect, and industry politics. Meanwhile, T.I. had reportedly been trying to stay out of the situation completely. People close to the Atlanta rapper say he had advised his son to ignore online drama and focus on music. One insider claims T.I. even had a private conversation with King Harris earlier that week, telling him, "The internet loves chaos. Don't let it pull you into something bigger than it needs to be." At the time, it sounded like simple fatherly advice. But after everything that happened later, those words began echoing differently. As the online tension grew, another unexpected development added fuel to the fire. But a member of 50 Cent's extended social circle allegedly posted a laughing emoji under a blog discussing King Harris's message. That tiny reaction might seem insignificant to outsiders, but in the world of hip-hop culture, gestures like that often carry deeper meaning. Fans instantly interpreted it as mockery, and screenshots spread across Twitter and Instagram like wildfire. Comment sections filled with speculation about whether the emoji was intentional shade or just harmless trolling. King Harris didn't stay silent for long. Later that night, he went live on Instagram, and although he didn't directly mention 50 Cent or anyone connected to him, his tone was noticeably intense. "People keep talking like they know me," he said while pacing around the room. "But they ain't been through what I been through. Don't play with my name." Viewers flooded the live stream with comments, trying to guess who he was referring to. Some urged him to calm down. Others encouraged him to stand strong. The energy in the chat reflected the emotional chaos surrounding the situation. Behind the scenes, however, family members were starting to worry. According to someone close to the Harris family, King Harris had been receiving a wave of messages and reactions online that made the situation feel overwhelming. Supporters were cheering him on, but critics were equally loud. The pressure of being the son of a famous rapper combined with public scrutiny had always been difficult, and this moment seemed to amplify everything. The following evening, things took another strange turn. A blog posted an alleged quote from someone claiming to be connected to 50 Cent's broader circle. The quote suggested that younger artists should focus on building their careers instead of chasing clout. Although the comment wasn't officially confirmed, fans immediately assumed it was aimed at King Harris. The rumor sparked another wave of heated discussion online. Some people defended the message as practical advice. Others saw it as a direct insult. By this point, the situation had transformed from simple online drama into a full-blown narrative that the entire hip-hop community was watching. Fans began digging up old interviews and resurfacing moments where T.I. and 50 Cent had spoken about industry respect in different contexts. Even though the two rappers hadn't been involved in any major public feud recently, the internet started constructing theories about hidden tension between their circles. As the speculation intensified, King Harris reportedly went out with friends in Atlanta that night. Witnesses say he appeared calm and focused, trying to ignore the online noise surrounding him. But the atmosphere around him was already charged with emotion. Everyone seemed aware that his name was trending for reasons that had nothing to do with music. Then came the moment that changed everything. According to early accounts from people who claim they were nearby, an argument allegedly broke out involving individuals who were recognized as being loosely connected to figures in 50 Cent's extended industry network. The details remain unclear, and witnesses have shared conflicting descriptions of how the confrontations started. Some say words were exchanged first. Others claim the tension had been building silently before anyone spoke. What everyone agrees on, however, is that the situation escalated quickly. Voices were raised, tempers flared, and within moments, what began as a tense encounter reportedly turned into a chaotic confrontation that left King Harris injured and needing medical attention. As news of the incident spread, the emotional impact hit the Harris family immediately. Friends say T.I. all received the call late that night and rushed toward the hospital without hesitation. Witnesses at the medical center later described a heartbreaking scene as the father waited for updates about his son. Fans across social media were stunned as the story began circulating. Some refused to believe the reports. Others demanded answers about how things could escalate so far over online drama. The comment sections across hip-hop blogs became flooded with speculation, concern, and anger. And while the internet continued debating what really happened that night, one painful reality remained clear. A situation that began with a few cryptic posts and internet speculation had now turned into something far more serious, leaving the Harris family facing one of the most emotional moments they had experienced in years. As news spread that King Harris had been taken to the hospital after the confrontation, the energy across social media shifted from speculation to shock. The fans were stunned. What had started as internet tensions suddenly felt frighteningly real. Videos began circulating from outside the hospital in Atlanta, where people claimed to have seen T.I. arriving in a rush, clearly shaken. Witnesses described a heavy atmosphere around the building as friends and family gathered nearby, anxiously waiting for updates about King Harris's condition. According to a person who claimed they were inside the hospital lobby, T.I. appeared visibly emotional as he spoke with medical staff. The Atlanta rapper, known for his calm and confident presence, reportedly looked overwhelmed as he tried to understand exactly what had happened. One witness later described the moment to a blogger, saying, "You could tell he was hurting. He kept asking the doctors if his son was going to be okay." The scene quickly became one of the most talked about moments of the night. No, with fans across the internet expressing sympathy for the Harris family. Meanwhile, the rumors connecting the confrontation to individuals allegedly linked to 50 Cent were spreading rapidly online. It's important to note that no official confirmation had been made, but speculation was moving faster than facts. Several hip-hop blogs began reporting that people present during the confrontation had recognized some of the individuals involved as being connected to figures in 50 Cent's extended network. These reports were based largely on anonymous sources, yet they fueled intense debates across social media. Fans were divided almost instantly. Some people defended King Harris, arguing that the young rapper had simply been responding to online disrespect and didn't deserve to end up in a hospital. Others warned against jumping to conclusions before all the details were clear. Emotions ran high as people argued in comment sections, each side convinced they understood what really happened. Inside the hospital, the Harris family faced one of the most stressful moments of their lives. According to insiders, several relatives arrived shortly after T.I., bringing an emotional wave of support and concern. One family friend later shared that the atmosphere was tense and quiet, with everyone waiting for doctors to provide a full update. "Nobody was really talking," the friend said. "You could just feel the worry in the room." As the night continued, rumors about King Harris's injuries began circulating online. Some posts claimed he had suffered serious injuries during the confrontation, while others suggested he was already recovering. The lack of clear information only made the situation more dramatic. Fans refreshed their feeds repeatedly, hoping for confirmation about his condition. At the same time, several artists in the hip-hop community began reacting publicly. One Atlanta rapper posted a message saying, "Praying for King Harris. Nobody deserves to go through something like that." The post quickly gained thousands of likes and comments from fans expressing support. Another artist wrote, "In internet beef ain't worth real-life consequences." That message resonated deeply with many people who felt the situation highlighted how quickly online conflicts could spiral out of control. While these messages spread across social media, another dramatic development occurred outside the hospital. A small group of fans gathered near the entrance after hearing rumors about King Harris's condition. Some held their phones up, hoping to capture footage of family members entering or leaving the building. Others simply wanted to show support. Videos from the scene showed people discussing the situation quietly, their expressions reflecting the seriousness of the moment. Back inside, sources claim I had a brief emotional moment that left people around him stunned. After speaking with doctors, he reportedly stepped aside with a close friend and struggled to hold back tears. According to the insider who witnessed the moment, I said something that reflected the pain he was feeling as a father. "He's still young," the rapper reportedly said. "He shouldn't have to deal with things like this." Those words quickly spread through the hip-hop community after being shared by a blogger who claimed to have spoken to someone present. Meanwhile, questions about the alleged connection to 50 Cent's circle continued growing louder. Some fans began tagging 50 Cent directly in posts, asking him to address the situation. Others urged people to wait for verified information before making accusations. The tension online reflected the complicated emotions surrounding the story. Supporters of both sides were trying to defend their perspectives, while the truth remained unclear. And another surprising twist emerged when a podcast host known for covering hip-hop news claimed he had received messages from individuals close to the situation. According to him, the confrontation might have started with verbal arguments before escalating unexpectedly. The host explained during a live stream, "From what I'm hearing, nobody planned for it to go that far. Things just got heated and it spiraled." Although the host emphasized that the details were still developing, his comments added another layer of complexity to the story. Throughout the night, bloggers and influencers continued posting updates, some reliable, others clearly speculative. Headlines about King Harris's hospitalization dominated hip-hop news feeds, while fans debated every new piece of information. Some people expressed anger about the alleged involvement of individuals connected to industry figures. Others urged everyone to focus on supporting the Harris family during a difficult moment. By early morning, the emotional toll of the situation had become obvious. The Harris family remained inside the hospital, waiting for further medical evaluations and updates. Support messages continued flooding social media, with fans from around the world expressing concern for King Harris's recovery. And yet, despite the flood of reactions and speculation, one critical question still hung in the air. What exactly had happened during those tense moments before King Harris was taken to the hospital? Until clearer details emerged, the story remained surrounded by mystery, leaving fans, artists, and insiders all wondering how a series of online exchanges could escalate into a moment that shook the hip-hop community so deeply. As the night turned into early morning, the situation surrounding King Harris grew even more intense. Yet what had already shocked the hip-hop community was now turning into a full-blown emotional storm as more details, rumors, and reactions began surfacing across the internet. Fans were glued to their phones waiting for updates about King Harris's condition, while the atmosphere around the hospital remained tense and uncertain. Inside the hospital, sources claimed the Harris family was doing everything possible to stay calm, while doctors continued monitoring the young rapper. T.I. reportedly refused to leave the building, staying close to his son's room while speaking quietly with relatives and medical staff. A family friend who later spoke to a blogger described the scene as heartbreaking. "You could see how much he loves his son," the friend explained. "He was trying to stay strong, but you could tell the situation was hitting him hard." At one moment, according to that same source, T.I. stepped into a quiet hallway to make a phone call. His voice reportedly cracked as he spoke to someone close to the family. "I just need him to be okay," he said softly. Those words later spread across social media after someone connected to the hospital staff allegedly repeated the story to a hip-hop blog. Fans reading the quote felt the emotional weight of the situation immediately. Meanwhile, outside the hospital, the crowd of fans and curious onlookers continued to grow. Some people had come simply to show support for the Harris family, while others were hoping to catch a glimpse of what was happening inside. Videos posted online showed groups of fans standing quietly, discussing the incident, and debating what might have led to such a serious confrontation. The tension online was just as intense. Supporters of King Harris flooded comment sections with messages of encouragement, praying for his recovery and expressing anger about how the situation escalated. One fan wrote, "Son, nobody deserves to end up in a hospital over drama." Another commented, "This should be a wake-up call for the whole industry." The emotional tone of the posts showed how deeply people were reacting to the news. At the same time, speculation about the alleged connection to 50 Cent and individuals linked to his extended circle continued spreading rapidly. It's important to note that no official confirmation had been made regarding their involvement, but the internet was already forming opinions. Some fans demanded answers, tagging 50 Cent in posts and asking him to address the situation. Others argued that blaming someone without verified information could make the situation worse. The debate became even more heated when a popular hip-hop influencer claimed during a live stream that he had spoken to someone who witnessed the confrontation earlier that night. According to the influencer, The argument reportedly started with harsh words exchanged between groups before escalating unexpectedly. "What I'm hearing," he said while reading comments from viewers, "is that nobody thought it would go that far. But emotions got heated and everything happened fast." That statement triggered another wave of reactions online. Some viewers believed the explanation made sense, pointing out how quickly arguments can spiral when tempers rise. The others insisted that there had to be more to the story. Fans began analysing every detail of the timeline, trying to piece together what might have happened during the confrontation. Back at the hospital, the Harris family was dealing with the emotional impact of the situation. According to insiders, several relatives gathered in a waiting area, quietly supporting each other while doctors continued their evaluations. One person close to the family later described the atmosphere as tense but hopeful. "Everybody was praying," the source said. "They just wanted to hear good news." Another emotional moment reportedly occurred when T.I. stepped outside briefly to speak with a close friend who had arrived at the hospital. Witnesses say the two men stood near the entrance talking for several minutes. At one point, T.I. reportedly wiped tears from his face while explaining how quickly everything had happened. "I keep thinking about how it started with internet drama," he said, according to someone who overheard the conversation. "Nobody thinks it's serious until something like this happens." Those words struck a chord with fans who later heard the story through blogs and social media posts. Many people began discussing how online conflicts can sometimes escalate into real-world consequences. The conversation turned into a broader reflection about responsibility, respect, and the pressure young artists face in the spotlight. Meanwhile, members of the hip-hop community continued reacting publicly. Several artists posted messages urging people to avoid jumping to conclusions, while also expressing support for the Harris family. One rapper wrote, "Praying for healing and peace. Nobody wins when things go this far." Another commented, "Let's focus on the health of the young man instead of spreading rumors." Despite these messages calling for calm, speculation continued to spread rapidly. Some bloggers claimed new information about the confrontation was about to be revealed. Others hinted that people connected to the situation might soon speak out. The constant stream of updates kept fans glued to their screens, waiting for clarity. Throughout all of this, one detail remained uncertain: how serious King Harris's injuries actually were. Early reports suggested he was receiving treatment and being monitored closely, but no official statement had been released by the family. That lack of confirmed information only added to the suspense surrounding the story. By the time the sun began rising over Atlanta, the emotional weight of the situation had spread far beyond the hospital walls. The Harris family was facing a difficult night filled with worry. The hip-hop community was reacting with shock and concern, and fans across the world were waiting for answers. And yet, even with all the speculation and reactions, one question continued echoing through the conversation. How could a situation that started with a few online exchanges spiral into a moment that left a young artist fighting for recovery and a father standing outside a hospital hoping his son would be okay? As the morning light slowly spread across Atlanta, the emotional weight of the situation surrounding King Harris only seemed to grow heavier. After a night filled with fear, uncertainty, and non-stop speculation, the entire hip-hop community was now waiting for one thing: an official update about his condition. Fans refreshed their feeds constantly, hoping to see good news, while reporters and bloggers gathered outside the hospital hoping someone from the Harris family might finally speak. Inside the building, the atmosphere was still tense but slightly calmer than it had been during the chaotic hours of the night. Doctors had reportedly completed several evaluations, and although no detailed statement had been released, sources close to the family began quietly telling reporters that King Harris was stable and receiving treatment. That small piece of information quickly spread online, giving fans a sense of cautious relief. Meanwhile, T.I. was still at the hospital, refusing to leave his son's side. Witnesses who saw the Atlanta rapper early that morning described him as exhausted but determined. According to one person standing near the waiting area, T.I., Hunt had spent most of the night walking back and forth between the hallway and the family room while doctors continued monitoring King Harris. At one point, the witness claimed T.I. quietly told a relative, "All I care about is seeing him walk out of here." Those words resonated deeply with fans once they began circulating through hip-hop blogs. For many people, the story had moved far beyond celebrity gossip. It had become a painful reminder that behind the headlines were real families dealing with real fear. Social media was now flooded with messages from supporters wishing King Harris a quick recovery and offering prayers for the Harris family. Outside the hospital, the crowd that had gathered overnight had grown even larger. Fans, curious locals, and journalists all stood near the entrance hoping for updates. Some people held up their phones recording live videos for their followers, while others simply stood quietly discussing the situation. In one video that quickly went viral, a group of fans could be heard talking about how shocked they were that online tension had escalated into something so serious. The speculation surrounding the alleged connection to 50 Cent and individuals rumoured to be associated with his extended circle also continued dominating conversations. Although there was still no official confirmation linking anyone directly to the confrontation, some fans insisted that people connected. Some fans insisted that people connected to 50 Cent should address the rumours directly to clear the air. Others argued that the accusations spreading online were unfair without verified evidence. The discussion became increasingly emotional as both sides defended their perspectives. Meanwhile, a surprising development added another layer to the story. During a morning radio segment, a hip-hop journalist claimed he had spoken to someone close to the situation who suggested that the confrontation may have involved multiple misunderstandings before it escalated. According to the journalist, the source described the encounter as something that spiraled out of control faster than anyone expected. That explanation seemed to support the idea that the incident had not been planned, but instead erupted suddenly during a tense moment. Back at the hospital, the Harris family was finally beginning to receive more detailed updates from doctors. According to insiders, more medical staff informed them that King Harris was responding to treatment and that his injuries were being carefully monitored. Although the family remained cautious about celebrating too soon, the news brought a visible sense of relief to everyone waiting inside. One emotional moment reportedly occurred when T.I. was allowed to briefly see his son. A person close to the family later described how the father quietly stood beside the hospital bed for several minutes, speaking softly to him. "You scared us, man," T.I. reportedly said with a mixture of relief and exhaustion. "Just focus on getting better." That moment, once shared online through second-hand accounts, touched fans deeply and reminded many people of the bond between father and son. As the day continued, reactions from the hip-hop community kept pouring in. Several artists posted supportive messages for King Harris, encouraging him to stay strong during recovery. One rapper wrote, "Sending love to the young king and his family. Life too short for this kind of drama." Another artist posted a simple message that many fans shared widely. Prayers up for healing. Even with these messages of support, the questions surrounding the confrontation remained unanswered. Bloggers continued investigating what might have happened before King Harris was hospitalized. Some claimed more witnesses might come forward with their version of events. The others hinted that people connected to the situation could eventually release statements to clarify the rumors. Meanwhile, fans were still processing the emotional impact of everything that had happened. Many people began discussing how quickly online disagreements can escalate into real-world consequences. The story had sparked conversations about responsibility, respect, and the pressure that young artists face in an industry filled with constant attention and scrutiny. By the afternoon, the Harris family had reportedly decided to keep further medical updates private while King Harris continued recovering. Supporters respected the decision, understanding that the family needed time to focus on healing rather than public attention. Still, the drama surrounding the situation had already left a lasting impression on the hip-hop community. What began as cryptic posts and internet speculation had turned into a night of fear, emotional breakdowns, and unanswered questions. And even as the Harris family focused on recovery and the online debates continued, one mystery remained hanging over the entire story. What exactly happened during those tense moments before King Harris was rushed to the hospital? And will the full truth about that night ever come out? As the dust slowly begins to settle around the shocking situation involving King Harris, the hip-hop world is still trying to process everything that unfolded in just a few intense hours. What started as online tension turned into a frightening real-life moment that left fans shocked, the internet divided, and a father standing in a hospital hallway hoping his son would recover. Emotions ran high throughout the entire night, and for many people watching the story develop, it felt like a painful reminder of how quickly things can spiral when pride, pressure, and public attention collide. For T.I., this situation wasn't about headlines or internet debates. It was about family. Witnesses described the Atlanta legend pacing the hospital halls, struggling to stay strong while waiting for updates about his son. Those moments showed a side of the rapper that fans don't often see, not the confident artist or the outspoken industry veteran, but simply a father worried about his child. At the same time, the rumors connecting individuals allegedly tied to 50 Cent have left the hip-hop community filled with questions. A come out? The full truth about what come out? The full truth about what happened that night remains surrounded by mystery. But now we want to hear your thoughts. Do you think this situation started with online drama that went too far? Do you believe the rumors about people connected to 50 Cent's circle? Or do you think the internet might be turning a complicated situation into something bigger than it really is? Drop your opinion in the comments, because right now the hip-hop community is completely divided, and the conversations around this story are getting intense. And if you want more breaking rap stories, industry drama, and updates the moment they happen, make sure you like this video, subscribe to the channel, and turn on notifications so you don't miss the next update. Because trust me, if any new details about King Harris, T.I., or this situation come out, you'll want to hear about it first.